everybody, we've been here now for about a week, right? And we're talking and thinking about education and what we can do to help in our community, help our communities to make a better situation for us to have more opportunities in life, right? Because we talk a lot about the achievement gap, or how good we do in schools, how well we perform, right? Let's really be serious about this. If we've been sitting with the same people and everything, let's try. It's hard for me. I think it's hard for everybody. But let's try to mix it up today. Get involved. Start speaking up. If we don't like something, if we're bored, say it. Let's bring it. Let's bring it to the group. Let's change this program. Let's make it engaging. Let's make it more fun. Whatever we have to do. But we really need for you guys to step up and push us as adults to make this program something that's going to actually be of value for you guys, but something that's enjoyable at the same time. So the adults that are here, we're here to serve you and to help you guys make it better. So let us know what we can do. If it's getting boring, more engaging, let us know. We'll switch it up. We'll keep trying until we're able to give you guys something that you guys are going to enjoy.
I just want to touch on something that you said. So I want everybody to think of a song that has inspired change in them, because that'll be the second part of the activity.
Okay. I did listen. I'm sorry.
Okay, I gotta find somebody I don't know.
No, they don't. When Adrian is.
Y'all just seeing me walking around, y'all ain't saying nothing. Oh, you didn't ask.
Hey Joe, this is the song of the other song.
No, was it? All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get back started. If everybody can come back into the circle.
I thought it was interesting just because reading the lyrics, you actually kind of, like how you guys said, you actually kind of think about like the meaning behind it. And then when we were listening to the song, it was a little bit different of how it meant, I don't know, it interpreted differently when you were reading it rather than listening to it, because the beat was faster and you didn't expect it.
I picked the old song. It's by Bob Marley. It's called War. And the song talks about like war in the world, but specifically in Africa. It's talking about discrimination around the world and of different races and social classes. And the message that Bob Marley was trying to convey was to send, was trying to let people understand that there's a division against people from different races, and it makes others feel superior while it makes most feel inferior. And it's also to let the people that are empowered to understand and remember that they're also human. Like, just because you have power doesn't make you better than anybody else. And the song was created to help carry the Rastafarian movement.
Now we want you guys to share your I Am From pieces that you did with your group yesterday. So do I have any volunteers to go first?
I'm from the 18th clan, the Vang, the Yang. I'm from the third generation that was given the education. I'm from the lotus flower, the pine tree that was long limbed. I remember as life were my own. I'm from spiritual and a giant. From my ancestor and my grandpa. I'm from a loud and a outgoing and from a loving family. I'm from a tiger and a warrior, and from down the bay. I'm from a shamanism. I'm from Minnesota, Minneapolis, and Thailand place. To chicken and pork from the day my mom had lost our grandpa, which is high in the sky. Her pain had suffered that kept her inside, but left her life like no other lives. The Last of Us 12 portray top on the wall, started going on top of the wall as one individual started going their way. I kept the family's love deep inside, as I know that love is with me all the time.
Share yourself or not, but I hope you choose to share yourself and really enjoy the experience that we'll be doing, we're being a part of for this 8 weeks. You want to step in and say something, Paula, or Mitchell?
I was just saying, I know that people had been asking about a break. It's probably a good time for us to take a 15-minute break. Or...
Really liking this freestyle though.
I'm mad. Oh, yeah.
But they the ones that keep saying, just put anything in there. You really like it, like, okay. You over here trying to get me more, right? When you put something in there every day. All the time.
Everybody, my name's Nisi Parker. I'm the pretty one of the group. I'm the cool one and the shortest. This is Davey Hoop.
Thank you.
His real name is David. He is the research manager. This is Jorge, real name George. He is a research associate. This is Bianca. She is our fashionista and also a research associate. She works with policy. This is Buki, real name Andrew. He is also a research associate and AmeriCorps member. And this is Phoebes. Her real name is Phoebe, and she's Phoebe. No, I'm just kidding. She's a research associate. And I am the philanthropy redesigner, and also a new member of the research team.
Dope. So, what's your name? Latrice. This is Latrice. Everyone knows Latrice?
Girl
No?
blue.
Okay, cool. So, Latrice, can you tell us, like, what are you even doing here?
Well, I'm here
Mm-hmm.
basically to change education.
You're going to change education?
Mm-hmm.
Word. Okay. So, partner A. Raise your hand. Okay, partner A, you are going first. So, this activity is about showing an image of something and not using words, right? Okay, so you were speaking in a different language, and we're going to use the language of our bodies. So, if partner A, you're going to begin by sculpting your partner into an image of what you feel about learning image. Gather around, everybody. Get close. We're going to watch. We're going to see what we see here. Okay, first image. Okay, great. So when I tap you on the shoulder, you're going to give us 3 words that you're feeling in this image, okay?
Irritated,
Irritated?
frustrated. I'm not learning anything.
Bored. Nothing to do, not interested.
What do we see?
Sad.
Sad, punishment.
3 words.
3 words. Stay in your spot.
Tired, bored, and sad.
Okay.
Just said hopeless, but trying to help, but not there.
Good. So let's say you all decided to boycott school. Let's, in 3 seconds after I snap, show how you're gonna feel. So, what do we see?
Happiness.
Happiness.
Confused.
Thank you for the images. We are going to move into a separate activity now.
So we're gonna have you do a free write. Right now, we're gonna take about 10-15 minutes and have you just write as much as you can. So we're gonna start by just having you imagine you are in an education system where you're most able to learn.
Did everyone get some good writing down?
Yeah.
Good.
It would be lovely for us to have a little bit of clarification about the philanthropy piece. And I don't know if we're jumping ahead too much.
We're going to be taking you guys through a design thinking training process. And I believe it'll start either next week or the week after, I'm not really sure. But in that process, you'll be figuring out how to give resources, no words, resources back to the community. And it's going to be about 4 days long. So you're going to be doing this process, but it's going to be really fun, really dope. It's a 6 to 7 step.
Yeah. Everybody have a great birthday tonight. We'll see you guys on Monday. Bring it in. One hand in, one hand in. Wait. Everybody in, everybody in. Bring it in, bring it in. Bring it in. Bring the other hand in, everybody ready?
I was messing around on YouTube, and I saw, and if anybody else saw this, raise your hand, but I saw that there's talking about something called the preschool to prison pipeline.
I saw it on World Fair.
Saw it, well, I did too, I just didn't want to say I saw it. All right, I was on World Star. But, so anyway, so I saw that, right, and it kind of blew my mind because it was like, you know, it's one of those things where it was like, okay, I've heard of school to prison pipeline and how they base prison off of third grade reading scores, but now they're even going further to preschool, suspension rates, and kids get suspended because they didn't bring a notebook in, or kids getting suspended because they didn't, or because they hit the teacher. Well, when you're 4 or 5 years old, you're gonna, you know, hitting a teacher isn't the same as, you know, if Ronald hit a teacher. You know what I mean? It's a different thing when you're at that different age. So it just shocked me, and it was something that's been on my mind all week. And so if I want to participate, I might put something on there and say, is this really happening in Minnesota, the preschool to prison pipeline? Write that on the thing, stick it on the board in hopes that we're going to have a conversation about that. That might be a category that people want to talk about.
What are the most important issues that we need to organize around?
I just put a scoop of crap on my plate, expect me to eat it. Some milk.
Some schools can have it, but like some schools don't, so it's not even for white people or for colored people. It depends on the school that they go for.
When I was in the 4th grade, I had better curriculum than that, better world history than I do now, and I learned about all types of cultures. So I think that it's both the teacher and the student, because
But I don't think it's just teachers' fault though, because teachers usually have to go by the books and like what the system tells them to do. Because I know in the All Nations program, our teachers try to do so many things, but the system or like the administration tell them, no, you can't do that.
But this is just the time for you to go through and read and see what everybody wrote from the sessions that were hosted. And then again, just to remember, when we go into session 2, you do have the freedom to move around to different conversations.
okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now, but I can't. I'll get in trouble.
It's taught. Because some teachers have a better way of teaching things. I have an English teacher who is the most funniest person you'll ever meet. She's hilarious, but things that she teaches, she's like, I'm sorry, I have to teach this. I don't want to. I had a choice, I wouldn't.
But then that's a problem in the teaching plan, right? Because the teachers have to meet certain requirements of things that they have to teach.
Our question was why target Black or colored students, and we just said that the reason why Black students are targeted is because, well, it all goes back to the curriculum. Like, if you teach curriculum that interests all students, not just from a white perspective, more students would be more engaged and want to know more about themselves, and you know, it wouldn't put self-doubt. And the main points were to engage minorities and teach our history, like Native American history and African history, not just from slavery, but from back to when we were kings and queens. And then we gotta stop like the bogus pockets, like putting all people in Central America as Mexicans, or putting all Caribbean people as African. Like, people want to be known as what they want to be known as.
We talked about why Native American history isn't being taught well in the school,
And what we could do to change that.
yeah. I don't know.
Teachers need to go through culture training. And we feel like students and like parents and people that do have a problem with it to try to make a change, because if you don't like speak up, then they're not going to know. There's no change going to be made. And yeah.
So our group was talking about reforming the school curriculum. We sort of got into different topics than that as well, and talked a little about classroom settings and about teacher engagement. But mainly, I feel like what we want to focus on is discussing how schools can teach better and how they can teach skills that are relevant to us. We also brought up English classes and literature, and about how we should have a more diverse selection of authors that we read from and that we consider classic writers.
Your 2 dots and vote on what you want to move forward, what you choose to move forward. Who need dots?
2 dots.
So the top 4 will be, why aren't people of color getting some support? Native American history being taught and being taught well, school bullying, and self-sufficient schools.
Wildcats!
Okay, there we go. We don't need it right now.
We had our job purposes as a person, becoming a leader to express, having your voice heard, and move forward, creating a movement.
Our job purpose is to organize, defend, and fight for the rights so that all students have access to achievement and opportunity.
Our responsibilities are to respect others, teamwork, to research about education and what we can do to fix the achievement gap, and also to have fun.
Okay, 1 word checkout. I just come up with it. Name one. I'm just leaving you with thing. You're on a blank. Not responsibility. What was on the job? Quality. Name a quality that you think a youth organizer should have.
Responsible. Passionate.
A leader. Understanding.
Integrity.
Outgoing. Someone with boom size.
On 3 Wildcats, okay? 1, 2, 3,
Wildcats!
Okay, now I know FSCs, you guys. It's too late now.
Did you get that?
No. Okay, we are now arriving at the school.
Morning, you'll be doing the job. At closeout today, we'll be explaining the field trip that we're taking tomorrow, and exactly we're still getting some final things in place. So we'll know by that time exactly, you know, who's there to show up. We're gonna meet some very important people in politics, around education, around community work. And so today, you know, I dressed down for the last 2 days, but I'm not saying dress up tomorrow, but dress nice.
Inspirational message from this coffee cup.
All right.
Life is taking a stand even when you're sitting down. And I like that.
There you go.
Can you bring donuts tomorrow?
I had a young lady help me today write the agenda for the day. So as we continue to go, we will continue to do those things ourselves and create this program for ourselves. So it is what we said it is. It is your program, and people have stepped up and made suggestions, and we've tried our best to try to fill those things in, and we appreciate it.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
Bullying occurring in their schools. Basically, so much teens see bullying in their school and they don't do anything about it. I mean, if someone steps up and do something about it, it like prevents very little bullying. You know, it prevents and prevents and prevents.
Oh, it's her birthday, you guys.
You know you want to turn out. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Whose birthday is it? Hey, happy birthday.
Who's got cake?
All right, we gotta do happy birthday. Come on. Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lisa. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
We're going on a field trip to the museum.
Of
Science museum. Wait.
No,
What?
history museum.
Oh, history museum.
Let's go to our field trip.
What about Jeff?
Oh, too bad. No, I'm just
Are we going to El Colegio first?
Yeah,
that's where we're gonna meet up.
Oh my God, we forgot someone. In 20 minutes.
Too bad.
I'm so glad that we have this opportunity to come here to the museum and to see what Minnesota was like. And can't wait to get into the exhibit where the tornado took place in Fridley. So I'm just really glad that the kids are getting this experience.
I don't think we're ever over it, once you've been through it.
The whole area smelled like a battlefield. It just reeked.
There were houses in the middle of the
Yeah.
street. There was nothing intact.
And all we saw was rubble and where houses had been. It was just the most grim thing I've ever seen.
We interrupt this program with a weather advisory. The U.S. Weather Bureau has issued a tornado forecast for a portion of extreme north-central Iowa.
I heard the news that there was tornado warnings. I told the boys, I says, we've got to get home.
Scattered severe thunderstorms with large hail. Locally.
It was interesting seeing all the different families that have lived in the house. Just, a little bit disappointed that there's nothing about Latinos, our history here in Minnesota, since there's been a lot of Latino immigration in Minnesota. I think there was 100,000 Latinos just right here in the west side of St. Paul, not far from here, in 1910. So it's crazy to think that there's nothing in the Minnesota Historical Museum about our culture. A lot of the students are pretty disappointed about that.
Yes, I think that, well, first of all, we were downstairs and we were trying to set up the stuff for the luncheon. Just learn that, maybe we could have some type of a tour guide when we come in here. Maybe that's something we could put on our suggestion and comment cards. But I did learn a lot just going through the Our House exhibit. And I learned that, just different people from all different walks of life establish, themselves here in this country. And I was talking to Maria today, earlier this morning, and we were talking about the immigration laws and everything that I see on the news. And I said, she wants to be an immigration lawyer. And I was just talking to her, I said, why did they stop immigration now in 2014 when it's really what built the whole country? So when you see all the people that live in this house that we just went through in this exhibit, why did that now change? So that's a question that I had. And it's a question that, it's interesting to see, if we do some research around that topic, how that affects education and everything else. So.
Me and Elizabeth, we went through the tornado, we went through the Now and Then. I think that was the funnest. The Iron Range. Did you like anything? Or what did you like the best?
The teepee.
Oh, the teepee was fun. We knew the guy that was in there, and he was very comedian, making us laugh. The video in it? Yeah, that was cool. Anything else that you liked?
No, not specifically.
Oh, it was fun. We had a blast.
Smile. That works.
Yay for more energy. So I am so excited to talk to you guys and hang out with you all today. Just to let you know, right now we are in the Capitol complex, which is kind of a big deal. So it's pretty high security around here. So from here, the History Center on toward the Capitol, we're in the Capitol complex. So we're going to walk from here to the Capitol, which is really short. We're going to walk past some state agencies, which I'll describe later. So we're going to keep walking.
What up, man?
And the reason why I think you all are sitting here is because you all have a crucial voice in being able to speak to the people that work in all of these state agencies. Can anyone guess how many people work in the 21 state agencies? And it's in the thousands. Anyone? 40,000. 40,000, exactly. Because what the commissioner of each agency does is he takes each of your concerns and he'll go directly to the governor and he'll say to the governor, this is what the people of Minnesota are saying. And when we talk about the people of Minnesota, I'm talking about you guys. Do you understand how important your voice is in this process? You all are beautiful people of color with amazing smiles and amazing energy and brilliant. And it's a privilege for me to be able to speak with you today. And I love the attention here. Hi. Hi. Hi, guys. I'm sorry. I know I'm on tape. You all don't BS. And I can say that. You all see what you see and you speak from the heart. And I love that about this age group. And so I think that's something that we need to, that you can, as you guys, remind me of the program. You guys are students for, what's your mission? What's your mission?
We still are defining our name.
I
now.
was told that you're students organizing for equity, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. Use the issues that matter most that you see at your schools, you see in your homes, and bring them to these state agencies and use resources like us to help you do it. But the most important thing I wanted to point out is that what everyone said right now all relates to something that's happening directly in the state and to the state agencies and to the people that are running it. And I think it's appropriate for you not to feel like you have to fight the state, but to be able to say, let me join you in creating a solution. I don't.
It was hot, a lot of walking, and very interesting. I like the museum.
Today was okay. There was a lot of information, but I think the student capital was interesting, just because I didn't know a lot. It was just really hot, but it was good.
I actually liked today. I liked going to the museum, even though I kind of thought it was irrelevant to what we were discussing yesterday, but it was a nice journey and a nice effort. I liked getting to meet people that work and represent us, and I liked I don't remember her name, but the lady who had gave us that speech at the Capitol, I liked that. And I didn't like that we had to wait for one of our students to come join us. It was kind of sad. But it was a nice day. It's nice, even though it's hot. Let's not forget that it snows 12 months. So, not really, but it feels like it snows all the time.
I like the museum. It was really awesome.
Yeah,
that little movie we watched, you were in there with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
the museum that we were in
inspiring.
today. Sorry for talking over you. I think I should let you talk. The museum was an incredible, fascinating experience. I like the tornado one. I kind of got to experience it, but not fully to the extent of me being so frightened and being scared and screaming like a little girl, but just seeing how it happens. So that was interesting to see. And then
I like the plane one.
Which
That we
one?
were in there, the army plane or whatever it was.
Oh, the army plane. Yes,
my
the
God,
army
dude.
plane. Tell us something about that. I know you had a touching story towards that.
Yes. I actually felt like I was in there and one of the soldiers, ready to go into action, and then you just hear their voices. It's just amazing. Like you feel like you're in there.
Yeah. It's like kind of like a first-person shooter game, kind of. Like you have the first-person experience, but not the full experience, but the experience. That's all I gotta say. It's been a fun day. It's been a fun day.
I was getting this like 651 number. Yeah.
What we're trying to do is change the educational system by the students' point of view, and so that's why we're all here and putting in our efforts.
I'm going to be in High School. I'm going to be a junior. My question for you is, what is the Department of Education doing to help the achievement gap and the opportunity gap?
A couple of different things in which the Department of Education is taking on. The first, I won't say first, but one of the first things that we as an administration heard. The governor was in North Minneapolis in April of 2011, and one of the things that he heard from community members is having more of an intentional focus on STEM, so the science, technology, engineering, and math, and getting more of intentional classwork in front of students in those respective areas. So the Department of Ed has looked at schools which have had lower graduation rates and tried to increase the amount of STEM education within those respective schools. The Department of Ed has also looked to increase its respective efforts as it relates to reading attainment by students by 3rd grade.
As a student and a human, I would say.
Hopefully they're not exclusive.
No, not exclusive. I would say, when are test scores are going to stop defining my future or the school's future? As I have the right to have, it's a human right to have work, education, and life. And if you have test scores opposing that, how is that gonna let me have a good work, let me have a good job? Oh, it's the same thing. I mean, a good life or education, where I won't be because I have to have a certain test score.
I appreciate the question. This kind of comes back to sort of government and sort of democracy. The honest answer to that is that you've got to convince people who aren't in this room right now of just what you said. And in democracy, we vote and we pass laws, and we even have courts that sometimes make decisions that we don't like. You got to realize who gets to appoint those individuals to that court. So, personally, you got my vote. But in a democracy, you got to get more than half the vote. And what I would say is that right now, we're at a point where it's very close on that respect to question. And I would say over the last decade, at the federal level, you had more votes saying that test scores are the most important thing in measuring the performance of somebody. It's true. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you again, not that we're closing it out, but we might be just a little bit. But thank you, and also I'm wondering what can this group of students do to partner with you or other state agencies? You know, you're developing your budget, present it to the governor, session starts in January 6th. What can some of these students do to really support you and your work and partner with you all?
One of the things that I like about the job is looking back into history. And one of the things in which you look back into history as relates to the 1964 passage of the Civil Rights Act is you have President Johnson and others saying, I need to have people outside of government push me so I have more power and more ability to actually get legislation done and accomplished. And sometimes I think it's helpful to look back in history and remind ourselves of that. So my comment really to you was, be an advocate. Say that that's not important. Get more people like that are in this room doing that, because that puts more pressure on other individuals in government, in position, to be able to have the freedom and latitude to make legislation that's positively impacted you. Don't believe for a moment that just because something gets passed into law, that it's going to be there forever. That's not how it works, right? The price of freedom is constant vigilance, said by Thomas Jefferson. So just the idea of I write it down in the Constitution doesn't necessarily mean that those rights that are contained there, that are always going to be there, unless you stay vigilant and then ask, demand, and require that those rights stay there for you. So I think for ourselves, that's really what it's about, and what it's kind of coming back full circle. So, could you all invite 3 or 4 of your friends, show up at the Capitol, have a protest, tell the media that you're concerned about this particular issue? That'll get a lot of coverage. And then what I also know is there's this thing called tweeting. People seem to follow that a lot. So if you can do that, that's also significant. I also think there's this thing called YouTube. To the extent that you're doing that, that can also be very powerful.
And remember, let me just ask, when does the legislative session start again?
January
6th
to May
20th. I love it. So anytime, you've got a lot of time to show up.
Pamela.
Nakuja. Emilio.
Vang.
Fall.
You did
Christy.
Dinah.
Sorry.
Who? Sunny. Who's Sunny? Oh.
Mitch.
Sonny.
Carlos.
Bang.
No.
I didn't know that.
Celine. Does that count? Daria.
Dennis.
I'm recording. This don't count. All right.
It wasn't fair, was it?
I'll go.
You don't get that.
Oh.
Go,
Pamela.
Ryan.
Maria.
Hi.
Our theme for the week is on the wall here. Does someone want to read it that's closer? Anybody want to read the theme for the week there?
Developing our strategies, what will the plan be for accomplishing our goal?
All right, and the inquiry. Yes, for you, Bryce.
How you guys doing?
Who remembers that?
How you guys doing?
Good.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Perfect, perfect. Good choice, good choice. What about you? What'd you have? Donuts? What type of donuts? Sugar? With the like powder stuff? You had both. Diverse, diverse. What about you? What'd you have? Donuts? What type of donuts?
Sugar.
Who had a glazed donut? If you had a glazed donut, stand up.
I didn't have no donuts.
No glazed donuts?
Good job.
There was no glazed. Stand up, stand up. How you guys feeling? Do you want to finish eating your grapes before you stand up? Dang, that's a rough life. Stand up. Let's go. How about you? Stand up. Stand up. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Brian.
Yeah. Brian?
Yeah.
Okay, help get your friend up. Go. Hi. Say, hey, Jorge.
What's up?
Are you ready
Hey, what?
to jig?
Dig what?
Jiggle low.
Well, my hands up high, my feet down low, and this the way I jiggle low.
So we're gonna take that and we're gonna repeat it and we're gonna do it just the way he did it, right?
Hands up, have my feet down low, and this the way I jiggle low.
Her hands up high, her feet down low, and this is the way she jiggle low. Jig, hello, jig, jig, hello, jig, hello, jig, jig, hello. David,
Hey, what?
are you ready
For what?
to jig?
Jig what?
Jiggle low.
Well, my hands up high, my feet down low, and this the way I jiggle.
His hands up high, his feet down low, and this is the way he jiggle low. Jig, Sonny, are you ready for what? To jig.
Jig what?
Jiggle low.
Yeah, my hands up high, my hands up high, my feet down low, and this the way I jiggle low.
Her hands up high, her feet down low, and this is the way she jiggle low.
How people can organize, how communities can organize. So now we want to use that knowledge, everything we know, to help build our knowledge of how we can do the same types of things, right? So who here is a researcher?
that everybody? No. We still got 2 right here. You guys are researchers? Is everybody a researcher, really? Hey, heck yeah. Everybody, right. So now this is called an empathy interview, right? So what we want to do is, the first session that we had, so the last time we came, we did some focus groups, and we did this thing called body sculpting. Does everybody remember the body sculpting from the first time we came in?
Yeah.
Cool. So, Sonny, do you want to talk about what we did in the body sculpting?
Okay, what we did in the body sculpting was, I think the question was, what does education or school look like to you? And so there was a group of there's 2 people, and one person was the sculptor, another person was like their clay, and so they molded them into what they thought education was.
All right, does anybody want to talk about some of the stuff that came out of it, some of the themes that came out of that stuff? Does anybody remember?
It was, what did education feel like to you?
Or does education feel like to you?
I think that's what it was.
You remember some of the stuff that people said? Boring? What else?
That was like frustrating. Yeah,
Questioning?
Oh, I said frustrating.
Oh, frustrating. Very good. Anything else?
They felt disappointed.
Disappointed?
Yes.
Hello, everybody. This is a round table, and I'm going to move around a lot, probably. So if you see my back for a period of time, you can yell at me and I'll move or something. But I want to get you guys kind of involved from the beginning. I wanted to go kind of like person by person, but I can see we have like a really big room here. But I want to ask you guys a really important question, and I hope we have some brave people to step up. And if we don't, I'm going to walk around and maybe like grab one of you guys to talk. So forgive me if I put you on the spot. I know that can sometimes feel bad, and I don't mean to do that. You can pass if you need to, but please don't. Okay, so the question I have to start with you guys is very big. Literally, why are you here?
Because I want to make a change and do something important with my time and spend it wisely. Because I'm hopeful that things can get better.
Too many things going on. What you said that I really liked is, I want to use my time wisely to make a change in the world. And that's the thing I really want you guys to think about, because you can do a lot with your time if you use it wisely. You guys have however many hours in the day that you can spend, and I really want in the back of your mind for you to think, as you get older, what are you going to do with that time? So you're inspired by, you want to be the best you. You don't want to be the you that's doing stuff that you're not proud of, or that's around stuff that is bringing you into negativity. You want to put yourself in a positive position to use your power and inspire yourself to do something. Am I right with that? That's awesome. I love that too. Big picture. Achievement Gap is describing what? Institutional racism. It's describing a system that's avoiding talking about poverty, that's avoiding talking about the legitimate problems that we have in our community. It's a big picture idea. Us changing that is saying, I want to literally change my society. I want to empower people and literally change my society, and that's fantastic. I am here because I legitimately believe in the power of people. I look at the world around me and I see big systems that I don't understand, and I've been studying them for about 10 years and I don't understand, okay? So if you study systems intellectually on an academic level and you have no idea what's going on, there's a big problem of information in our society. I see corruption. I see people being elected that don't actually reflect the people in their community, and they don't reflect the values of their community. And I see people voting for them that are voting against their own interests, against their own beliefs, against their own ideas on how the world should work. There's always the power of people, and the power of community, and the power of what you said, hope. I believe in struggle. And what I mean by that is, things only get better if you make them get better, right? A lot of things get worse if you don't fight against injustice. And we watch that. But we see things in American society get better. We can make some very clear statements. What has gotten better in American society in the last 100 years? Anybody?
Racism.
Racism has gotten better. In some ways, right? But in some ways it's still haunting us. The legacy of the past is still with us. And we're practicing avoidance. And we're making more sophisticated racism influence our everyday life, right? But in some ways, it is getting better because we don't have the overt bigotry that we saw 70 years ago, 60 years ago, in all places. Because remember, you have so much power, you just have to realize it and exercise it by acting in this world. Don't ever forget that. You have so much power. You just have to realize it and act on it. It's as simple as that. But I really enjoyed you guys as a group. Thank you very much for having me.
I was gonna ask the whole group if anybody lost throughout the whole 3 weeks, because I feel like many of us, every single day, we ask the same question that we talked like last week or the other day before, and I feel like we're not really paying attention to what we're doing, and we're just repeating the same question over and over, and then our mentor, our staff is just repeating the answer back to us. I feel like they said it enough already. So that we should really listen already. So I'm asking you guys, do anybody here is lost from the past 3 weeks? That they're lost from way back then, that we could just rephrase what we did quickly, so everybody can catch up to a point where everybody knows where we are at right now.
And if you guys are, don't be like, it's nothing to be like embarrassed about. Like, just say it, and we all get confused.
Yeah, because I mean, like, we already missed a lot of weeks, and we're halfway, and it seems that we haven't done nothing but just stand here and do nothing. And we're here to make a change, so we gotta do this fast and quick, and
Put a lot of work in. I love it. Thank you. You guys are amazing.
I would say, look, there's a group of youth that are serious about this, whether you cut this group in half and say it's only 16, or it's 10. If people fall off and say, look, I was just here for the check, that might happen. But if there's people that are serious about it, I really think that this thing will keep getting funded and that there will be jobs for you. I think that's the hope for a while. So
like, basically, we just have to do our work, prove them that we actually want to do this, and then we can still keep going?
Yeah.
In the work, what it is we're the 8-week leadership program that are starting the movement and mobilizing, and eventually our goal is to reach 3,000 youth. So you guys are the first 30 youth that are going to create the movement that's going to reach out to 3,000 is our goal.
I think that's why we have each other, and that's why we're a big team, because if one doesn't understand, we should explain, because from what I remember, they weren't supposed to be in this from the beginning. It was just us. They gave us everything, and we're supposed to figure it out on our own. We have to struggle to get somewhere.
There you go.
During, when they don't ask questions during, but everybody asks questions after.
Yeah.
They get lost after.
Listen. All I'm trying to do is make a way for it to be easier. But every time I ask, then nobody actually says what they think they should do until after I do it.
There you go.
I'm just saying, like,
That is true.
if I'm not making it, if you got a way to make it easier than how I just did it, raise your hand and tell me.
The first comment is, I hate when the camera is always in my face.
Yes.
It's very distracting.
It can't be helped, sorry.
Yeah, there's your.
Okay, so I hate when the camera's always in my face. So one of the things that we want to do is document our process. And that's very important to say that we actually did the work. And one of the ways that we're going to be able to do it is the camera piece. If you don't want the camera in your face, I suggest that you talk to Dennis and become the person videotaping. And that way you'll at least be behind it, right? It's just one way to solve that problem. The other one is if you really, really feel strongly about it, come talk to us and we'll work something out. If the camera's still in your face or whatnot, we're recording you, we will make it intentional to not put you in the editing process, all right? And the other way you can make sure that happens is be a part of the editing team when we edit the film. So, all right, that's just a quick answer to it, but we're taking this into consideration for later. So we absolutely did not get to the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 groups. I feel bad for group 4 because it's supposed to figure out what's going on tomorrow for icebreakers and stuff. Can you guys take it upon yourself to meet for the last 5 minutes and just kind of come up with an icebreaker and close out for tomorrow? Group 4. Okay. Everybody bring it in. All right, you guys ready? Go ahead, Lee. What do you want to say?
What do you guys want to say?
Respect each other.
Okay, respect each other on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Respect each other. All right. All right.
Okay, so we have. Okay, we have a special person in the room. And it's her birthday today. It's Maria's birthday, guys, so we're gonna sing happy birthday.
All right.
One, two, three.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Maria. Happy birthday to you.
Shell's gonna sing the professional happy birthday.
Yes, Shell's gonna sing that.
Shell can sing, y'all, so y'all gotta get him to sing before the end of this. Hey, yeah, we're waiting, Shell, come on.
Who am I singing to?
Maria.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Maria. Happy birthday to you.
All right.
Risk taking.
Was Dr.
McKinney.
McCarran.
Dr. McKinney. Team building.
Team building. Bonding. What else? And we're learning through tension about cultures, right? Are we building trust? Are we beginning to build trust? We also know how it feels when trust is broken, right? Do you see what's happening here? We're also learning what? What's the big one?
Friendship.
Pardon? Friendship?
Did you write teamwork? Yeah.
Teamwork?
Did you write that?
Yep. We're also learning how to be organizers, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're learning how to be organizers. You guys are writing your job descriptions in real time. In real time. Yeah. This is a lot to applaud. You guys need to applaud yourselves for this. This is huge success.
Did anybody else need the IM structure?
Community. Yeah, let me show you this because this is what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah. Like for other income, like new incomers, I think that they kind of feel like, not take offense to it, but they would be like, oh, well, where's our name? You know, where's my group in the name? So I think, who likes the motto?
But this is just us. Yeah, there's only 4 groups.
But I'm saying, no, like, they were talking about if we do continue.
Yeah, if this does work out and then it'll like.
If it does keep going, then.
We'll get your logo.
That's what I
The
said.
meal plan
That's
and
what I said.
the meal plan and
Motivated educators always lead. My education always leads.
I like that.
No, está muy simple.
What do you want?
Yeah, you're
No
not saying
sé.
anything.
You keep saying that they're too simple, but you're not helping. Gosh.
We know what you mean.
Oh, I spelled it. How?
to look kind of like grades honestly as it's progressing down, so it could be like YEU, but still have youth diversity over here, and then just have a like engraved or like their small name right there. And then of course
We're gonna vote, okay? And we're all gonna agree that that's the consensus of the group. We're gonna be okay with that, right?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
What my plan was for this logo is, or our name, what it should be is the meal plan, because the meal represents us. All of the where the meal is all the groups together.
So that's McKinsey.
Yep, McGinley, El Colegio,
Asian Media Access and Legacy Keeper. Or we also came up with some acronyms. Motivated educators always lead. My education always leads. Motivation, education, activism, leadership, and my enemies always lose.
That is gonna be backwards either way right here on the other side. So the name we chose was Youth Diverse Union. First of all, let me explain why. I chose the word youth, that's because we all are youth or young adults, or that's what we would all consider ourselves. We are 4 different ethnic groups, which puts us in the word of diverse. And then we're working towards some political campaigning and like being out there with politicians and trying to have a word for them to say, a word for us to say and express what we want in our education. So then that's why I decided to become a union, as we're all gonna work together towards moving forward with the movement.
So your initial name was Edge.
Yeah, my initial one that I brought out was Edgy Changers, but then after a while I didn't even like it, and not a lot of the.
You let the people change your
Yeah,
mind.
because you know.
That's all.
Alright, so they want to include something with our organizations and who we are and stuff. So we came up with Latinos, Asians, African Americans, and Native Americans. And then, but some people didn't like how that was LAAN, LAN. So I thought of LANA and then came up with a new acronym, Leaders Advocating New Achievements, because Paula talks a lot about advocating and stuff and how, yeah, so I thought it was good. This was kind of something I was looking towards for like a logo or symbol sort of thing. So like it's supposed to be like a person talking. And yeah, and then I thought of this kind of motto sort of thing, like a statement. If you hear our voice, you will know our choice.
Mm-hmm. I'm not even gonna lie. I kind of like all of them. But it's not up to me, it's up to y'all. So I think we put dots at all the tables. Yeah, it's kind of hard. So y'all can take a couple seconds, take a breath or something, and come up here and throw your dot. Just throw your dot on the name. That don't matter. Just put it on the name. All right?
Never vote once. I know. You gotta be okay with the choice.
Can you do number 2 for me too?
Hey Dennis,
No, I already said
Dennis, can you do can you put mine up?
Which one you want?
Number 1.
Green party.
Yeah, I like her back. Well, not really. Yeah, she's and everybody was like, I like her.
Yeah, everybody drop it down. Did she put your own dot? Did you put your own dot?
Really? I thought they were cute.
I like the breakdown.
Yeah, I like the breakdown.
Okay, Youth Diverse Union. That's the name, and we're all okay with that, right? That's consensus. And so we still have to do some logo designing. Youth Diverse Union. If you hear our voice, you will know our choice. What did I do?
You good.
If you hear our voice, you'll know our choice. That's.
He actually had the design, so are they happy with his design? The tree.
Just no lick.
Are the napkins? Those are down there.
There you go. You can always come back from Murphy if you'd like. What would you like to drink? Mountain Dew. You guys like Mountain Dew?
I don't like to rap, that's why.
Hello, Mr. Cameraman. This is what we're eating today.
Hello, Ulysses. You gonna share?
Yes, sharing is caring, sir.
All right.
You can have some Pepsi.
Pepsi.
You guys know what's in the egg, right?
Who want this work?
Oh, who want that work?
Oh, what? Hey, I'm a basketball player.
I'm a baller.
I hate being short.
Oh shit.
There you go. Hey, what are you doing now? Oh, me! Hey, what's going on?
No, it's not. But you make it so easy.
Oh my God! Why? Why?
All the way.
No! One, two, oh, there you go.
Look here.
To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now come on, baby, kick. Now walk it by yourself. Walk it by yourself. To the right, 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 to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now walk it by yourself. Walk it by yourself into the Cupid show. Oh, into the Cupid show. So get ready for the brand new style. You got another one, Mr. Fett?
Well, I love me my wings. Where's the spiciest one at? Go, Leo. Is there ghost pepper?
To MKB, to Curtis Blow and Biggie. You're streaming live.
Guys, listen up.
What time is it?
Alright, so
Back over here.
So yesterday, I asked you guys to send me all your pictures, and I made it into a photo mosaic. It's for you guys.
That's what our pictures. That's what the pictures. I feel like it's like even. It has work.
back. Really do this rapping. Subway? Carlos! Just one, right?
Latrice. Latrice.
We ain't gonna win that. What did you say? That's called long track.
Hug the camera.
Come on, guys. I'm gonna miss you too. Way too much. I'm safe.
What are you guys laughing about? Bring my heart.